Amid U.S. President Donald Trump's claim that the U.S. is in talks with Iran, reports suggest Tehran has refused to negotiate with Trump's top envoy Steve Witkoff and son-in-law Jared Kushner. Instead, reports claim that Iranians prefer U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance as the mediator in case of fresh talks. Iran is reportedly skeptical of Witkoff and Kushner's seriousness about ending the war. U.S. and Israel had launched strikes on Iran just 2 days after wrapping up the last set of negotiations in Geneva, leading to doubts over U.S. intent behind the talks. However, the choice of J.D. Vance as the preferred mediator comes at an interesting time. Reports suggest Vance was not on the same page as President Trump when it came to the decision of striking Iran. Unlike Secretary of War Pete Hegseth and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Vance has been mostly absent from public discourse about the Iran war. Earlier this month, Vance had expressed support for Trump's handling of the war in Iran. Speaking to reporters in the Oval Office, Vance said he trusted President Trump to ensure that the mistakes of the past are not repeated.
There's no hesitation, given your past statements, with the current operation.
What do you mean there's no hesitation with my past statements?
Given your skepticism of foreign adventurism, you were a critic of the global war on terror previously.
Well, I think one big difference, Phil, is that we have a smart president, whereas in the past we've had dumb presidents. And I trust President Trump to get the job done, to do a good job for the American people, and to make sure that the mistakes of the past aren't repeated. Absolutely.
Vance's comments followed reports of disagreement and rift with President Trump over the Iran war. It also followed Trump's comments that Vance was philosophically different than him and that he was less enthusiastic about attacking Iran. Vance, who is a veteran of the Iraq War, has long opposed U.S. military intervention in Iran. In a podcast during the 2024 presidential campaign, Vance had opposed going to war with Iran, calling it a huge distraction of resources. In 2023, Vance had announced his endorsement of Trump in an op-ed where he praised Trump's record of starting no wars in his first term. However, the ongoing war has put Vance in an uncomfortable position of having to balance his isolationist views with supporting Trump. Reports also say that the war has elevated Secretary of State Marco Rubio's profile, who is now widely seen as the top contender for the presidential elections in 2028. Trump had earlier touted both Rubio and J.D. Vance as key contenders for the presidency.